What I'm about to say may surprise you and even shock you, but if you're watching this right now, it's because this message connects directly to ambition, power, and momentum. American gangsters are calling you. Phones are lighting up with your name everywhere. Authorities are hesitating, and the system is watching closely, because someone has emerged who has troubled the government, shaken an entire sub-department, and sent shockwaves through closed-door meetings. A person whose name keeps appearing in secret investigations, forcing top officials into panic. Someone so influential that control is slipping, and even American gangsters want to reach him before the government does, because he holds information, leverage, and intelligence powerful enough to change everything, creating chaos in every high-level discussion. So the question is, who are you? How did a common man rise to a level where every screen is talking about him? And is this story pointing at you, or the potential you're stepping into right now? Because this is about influence, confidence, strategy, and moving from being ignored to being impossible to overlook. And before we go deeper, pause for 1 second, hit the like button, subscribe to help us reach 20,000 subscribers, and comment Mr. Ledger below to show you're locked in till the end, because this isn't just a story, it's a wake-up call, and what you do next can change everything. Imagine a moment when the most powerful and ruthless people across the globe are suddenly paying attention to you, not because of fear alone, but because of the sheer impact you've made. They are calling your name, scrambling to figure out how someone so ordinary, so seemingly invisible in the grand scheme of things, has become the center of every conversation. It's not just fame, it's influence, the kind that makes people pause, reconsider, and even fear their next move. When your actions ripple across oceans and continents, it's a testament to your courage, your sharpness, and your relentless pursuit of excellence. Because only someone who refuses to stay small gets this kind of attention. True power doesn't always announce itself in meetings or through titles. It shows when others hesitate, when the system that claims control suddenly falters. Authorities, organizations, and structures are designed to maintain order, but when they pause, it's because they recognize something unstoppable brewing. In that gap of hesitation lies the window of opportunity, the exact moment when ordinary people realize they can rise above limitations and take charge of their destiny. Power isn't about domination. It's about recognizing those critical moments when everything is in motion and choosing to act while the rest freeze. There's a profound feeling when your name or work starts appearing everywhere, across reports, screens, and discussions, because it means your influence has grown beyond your immediate circle. People are noticing, organizations are tracking, and even those who doubt you must now acknowledge your presence. When you leave an impact so tangible that it can't be ignored, you're no longer part of the background. You become a force, a reference point, a benchmark others compare themselves against. This is the exact space where ordinary lives transform into legends, because consistency, courage, and strategy converge in undeniable visibility. History has always shown that true change comes not from positions of power, but from ordinary individuals willing to push boundaries, challenge norms, and persist against impossible odds. The common man, unnoticed by many, can disrupt entrenched systems when they refuse to be predictable, when they refuse to be contained. Every revolution, every breakthrough, every system-shaking event began with someone who believed their voice, actions, or insight mattered more than the fear of failure. The extraordinary isn't reserved for the elite. It emerges in moments when courage meets strategy and ordinary humans decide they will not be small. Systems fear what they cannot control, what they cannot predict, and what refuses to conform. When you step out of predefined roles, refuse to follow the herd, and challenge assumptions with intelligence and boldness, the machinery designed to regulate and suppress starts to hesitate. Fear arises not from your aggression, but from your independence, your clarity, and your unwillingness to settle. The system doesn't fear mistakes. They fear unstoppable potential. And that fear is proof that you are on the right path, that your decisions, however small they may seem, are shaking foundations and rewriting rules. When the powerful feel threatened by connection, it's because they recognize that collaboration amplifies strength. They don't want you networking, sharing ideas, or exchanging strategies because every meaningful interaction increases your impact. The lesson here is profound. Your value is not in isolation, but in connection, meeting, learning, challenging, and growing alongside others. Those who try to contain you inadvertently highlight the truth. You possess a power that thrives in influence, understanding, and informed action. And that makes every connection you forge a step toward changing the game entirely. Knowledge is not just power. It's the ultimate weapon in a world where decisions, outcomes, and even destinies are shaped by insight. The person who understands the flow of information, who sees patterns others miss, wields an influence that titles and wealth cannot buy. Every fact you learn, every observation you make, every connection you notice becomes a tool in your arsenal. This is how ordinary individuals turn into unstoppable forces. They recognize that information isn't just data. It's the bridge between where you are and where you could dominate, thrive, and reshape reality itself. Imagine the scene behind closed doors. Executives, leaders, and authorities scrambling, questioning, second-guessing, because someone outside their expected control is rewriting the rules. That chaos isn't accidental. It's the natural response to unpredictability and brilliance. And if chaos follows you, it's not a mark of failure. It's a mark of impact. When the people who are supposed to have power feel the tremor of your presence, it's because your strategies, your insight, and your courage are far beyond the ordinary. And ordinary systems were never designed to anticipate someone like you. One of the most profound lessons in success is that it isn't always about confrontation. It's about freedom. You didn't need to challenge every rule, fight every battle, or clash with every authority. You achieved something far more valuable. You moved strategically, thought differently, and acted outside conventional constraints. By escaping the system rather than attacking it, you gained a perspective few ever experience. And in that space, true power emerges. You create, you innovate, and you thrive in areas where those bound by rules cannot even imagine moving. There's nothing more revealing than watching control slip from the hands of those who thought it was permanent. Fear doesn't come from threats. It comes from uncertainty, from realizing that the predictable order is no longer guaranteed. And when fear spreads, opportunity blooms. You step into spaces others avoid, take risks others won't, and move with confidence while the world hesitates. True leaders, innovators, and change-makers learn to see fear not as a barrier, but as a compass, a sign that you're walking exactly where influence, progress, and transformation converge. Some people spend a lifetime trying to silence voices that challenge comfort zones, disrupt routines, or reveal truths. But there comes a moment when silence is no longer possible, because your presence, actions, and results speak louder than any attempt to contain them. You become unavoidable, respected, and even feared, not because of aggression, but because of relentless consistency, intelligence, and courage. Every voice that attempts to diminish you only proves the significance of your impact and the reach of your potential. Freedom, creativity, and unpredictability are the ultimate advantages in life. When others try to forecast your moves or restrict your influence, they fail because you refuse to operate within predictable patterns. Every calculated risk, every unconventional approach, every bold decision makes you uncontainable. The power of being unpredictable isn't chaos. It's control over your own narrative, a chance to shape outcomes without being trapped by expectation. That is the edge every extraordinary individual possesses, and it is the reason others scramble in your wake. True power has nothing to do with titles, wealth, or rank. It lies in awareness, the ability to see, understand, and act in ways that others cannot. Power is knowing the value of your choices, predicting the flow of consequences, and using insight to shape results. When you cultivate awareness, every small decision compounds into influence, every insight becomes strategy, and every connection turns into leverage. Awareness transforms ordinary people into forces the world cannot ignore, and it is the cornerstone of every story of genuine achievement. Independence is terrifying to those who rely on predictability and control. When you refuse to be boxed in, when you think differently, act decisively, and carve your own path, others label it as danger. But that danger is not a flaw. It's a reflection of authenticity, intelligence, and courage. Being independent means having the freedom to shape your reality, create your success, and move without constraints. Every system, every expectation, every attempt to limit you only amplifies your value, because those who truly shape the world do it on their own terms. Now pause for a moment and ask yourself, is this the life, the presence, the influence that you are embodying? Are you ready to step into the version of yourself that is unstoppable, uncontainable, and unforgettable? Every paragraph here, every story of impact, chaos, and influence is a reflection of potential that exists in you. The question isn't whether the world will recognize your power, it's whether you will embrace it. Stand up, act boldly, and claim the influence, awareness, and independence that is your birthright. This is your moment, and the world has been waiting. Greatness rarely emerges in calm waters. Those who dare to step beyond fear, who refuse to settle for mediocrity, inevitably summon storms around them. The whispers, doubts, and resistance you face are not signs of failure. They are signs that you are on the right path. History is filled with examples of people whose bold choices caused turbulence around them. Inventors, leaders, and visionaries whose audacity forced the world to bend in their direction. The storm doesn't define you. Your courage within it does. The louder the chaos, the clearer it is that your presence matters. Every challenge you face is a signal that you're moving closer to impact that cannot be ignored. Most people operate within comfort zones so small that the extraordinary seems impossible. But you, someone willing to step into uncertainty, think beyond rules, and act when others hesitate, see opportunities others cannot even imagine. While others are trapped in linear thinking, you recognize patterns, gaps, and possibilities that transform ordinary situations into monumental victories. The world may label your vision as reckless or strange, but visionaries have always been misunderstood before they are celebrated. Your ability to see what is invisible to the ordinary is not luck. It is preparation, awareness, and the courage to act when most stay silent. Every moment your heart races, every time uncertainty whispers that it's too risky, is a moment that reveals the path to growth. Fear is not the enemy. It is the compass pointing to where you must go. The people who achieve extraordinary success don't eliminate fear. They learn to move through it, using it as a guide rather than a wall. Every risk you take, every step into discomfort, compounds into strength, resilience, and clarity. If you want to be someone who shakes the foundations of norms, then learn to read fear as a signal of opportunity, not as a reason to stay small. When your actions break molds, challenge the usual, or demand attention, the world reacts first and comprehends later. People will judge, resist, or even fear your movement, not because it's wrong, but because it disrupts their expectations. This is the exact moment when influence is forged. Every revolutionary idea, every innovation, every monumental achievement has gone through the stage where confusion precedes understanding. The louder the resistance, the stronger your signal. Stay unwavering. History always rewards those who act first and explain later. Obstacles are not enemies. They are secret mentors, disguised tests that sharpen your mind, strengthen your resolve, and redefine your limits. Every closed door, every failure, and every setback is a mirror reflecting not what stops you, but how strong you are. Legends are made not by the absence of difficulty, but by the courage to persist when every circumstance screams, quit. Every barrier you face is silently preparing you for a level of influence and power that ordinary people will never experience. The obstacle is not the enemy. Your response is the hero story waiting to be written. True influence doesn't need loud announcements, flashy displays, or constant validation. It grows quietly, relentlessly, like a river carving a canyon over centuries. Your consistent actions, your integrity, and your courage are creating waves that the world cannot ignore. People will notice your results, your decisiveness, and your clarity, even if they do not understand your methods. The invisible power you cultivate in silence becomes unstoppable, eventually reshaping environments, systems, and perceptions without even asking permission. This is the kind of influence that lasts beyond names, titles, or fleeting trends. Every person who doubts you, opposes you, or underestimates you is providing one of the greatest gifts you can receive: experience and insight. Resistance is not rejection. It is preparation. Every confrontation, every skepticism, and every obstacle shapes your skills, strengthens your strategy, and teaches you patience, resilience, and determination. The world cannot break you. It only teaches you how unbreakable you are. Every challenge is a rehearsal for the monumental stage where your impact will finally be undeniable. When the world only values what is visible, vision becomes a superpower. Those who succeed beyond expectation don't rely solely on the present. They operate from the future they can see, acting today as if tomorrow's success is inevitable. Vision allows you to anticipate outcomes, navigate chaos, and create solutions before others even recognize the problem. The unseen becomes the unstoppable when clarity of purpose meets relentless action. Ordinary minds struggle to comprehend it, but extraordinary lives are built in the realm of what others cannot yet see. Once you begin moving with clarity, focus, and relentless energy, momentum becomes an ally that cannot be contained. Small victories compound into exponential results, and resistance begins to fade in the wake of unstoppable progress. Momentum doesn't wait for permission. It doesn't pause for approval, and it amplifies every effort you make. It turns hesitation into action, doubt into conviction, and potential into reality. The power of momentum is proof that consistent, courageous movement is more influential than every obstacle combined. Every hero, every visionary, and every game-changer experiences fear, yet they refuse to be paralyzed by it. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the choice to act when every part of you trembles. It is moving forward when the path is uncertain, making decisions when the stakes are high, and taking responsibility when no one else dares. Your courage in action sets the tone for your life, transforming fear into fuel, uncertainty into clarity, and hesitation into unstoppable drive. Position, title, or privilege does not create authority. Results, awareness, and consistency do. True authority is earned when your actions speak louder than words, when others recognize your competence and when your presence inspires respect without demand. People naturally follow those who are capable, informed, and decisive. By cultivating authority through skill, insight, and integrity, you step into a realm where influence becomes inevitable and where your decisions can shape environments far beyond what titles alone could ever accomplish. Power without legacy is fleeting. Influence without impact is temporary. Every action you take, every decision you make, and every risk you embrace contributes to the story that will outlive you. True power is measured not by attention today, but by the enduring mark you leave on systems, people, and environments. Your legacy is the echo of courage, intelligence, and vision. Focus on creating something that lasts, something so impactful that your name, actions, and influence continue to inspire long after the moment has passed. The boundaries you see in life are rarely imposed by reality. They're defined by the limits you accept in your mind. Extraordinary individuals redefine what is possible because they refuse to accept the constraints others impose. Every cannot you encounter is a challenge to be surpassed. Every limitation is an opportunity to innovate, and every perceived ceiling is a chance to soar higher. True strength emerges when you see possibility where others see impossibility, and act boldly to expand the horizon of what can be achieved. Those who move with vision, courage, and independence often find themselves ahead of everyone else. The world may initially misunderstand, resist, or even fear your choices, but progress is relentless. Eventually, systems, people, and environments adjust to the force you have created. This is the natural rhythm of achievement. Visionaries act first, while the world takes time to align. Patience, persistence, and clarity ensure that the world does not remain indifferent forever. Eventually, your influence becomes undeniable. All the lessons, challenges, and victories lead to this ultimate truth. You are not just part of the system. You are the disruption, the force, the spark of possibility that the world never anticipated. You embody the courage, insight, and momentum that redefine norms, challenge expectations, and inspire action. Every person who ever underestimated you is now witnessing the reality you were creating all along. You are the change, the catalyst, and the example that ordinary lives can become extraordinary through awareness, courage, and relentless action. The journey of those who achieve extraordinary success is never a straight road. Every twist, turn, and obstacle is a test designed to separate the timid from the relentless. The unshakable understand that difficulty is not a wall, but a stepping stone, a lesson disguised as a challenge. When the world seems to conspire against you, when doors slam in your face and the weight of expectation threatens to crush you, that is precisely when your courage, creativity, and tenacity shine the brightest. The smooth path is for the ordinary. The unstoppable carve their own road, break barriers, and turn every setback into momentum. Every scar, every struggle, and every sleepless night is the evidence that you are rising higher than those who settled for comfort. When you dare to dream bigger than the world expects, you inevitably stand out. Ordinary minds will criticize, doubt, and try to cage your vision because they are incapable of understanding the magnitude of your ambition. But the truth is, the greater your dream, the stronger your impact will be, and the more unstoppable your journey becomes. Dreaming is not an act of whimsy. It is the first step toward creation, influence, and transformation. Those who innovate, inspire, and lead are often misunderstood before they are celebrated. Every time you feel the weight of skepticism, remember, the impossible is simply the unattempted, and your dream is already shaping reality. True strength is not about how others see you. It is about how relentlessly you push forward when no one is watching. It is the quiet determination to rise after failure, to continue when hope feels distant, and to act decisively when circumstances seem stacked against you. The world often judges by appearances, applauding the loud and visible, but the real power lies in those who persevere in silence, learning, adapting, and building momentum. Every challenge you overcome, every risk you take, and every boundary you break compounds into unshakable confidence and unstoppable authority. Persistence is the engine behind greatness, and those who embrace it inevitably dominate where others fail. The voices of doubt, whether external critics or the insecurities within, are not obstacles. They are fuel. Every "you can't" should ignite a fire in your mind, compelling you to prove yourself, not to them, but to the person you are becoming. Doubt sharpens focus, tests resolve, and reveals how deeply committed you are to your vision. When fear and skepticism surround you, it is proof that you are moving faster, higher, and bolder than most ever will. Use every doubt as a spark, every challenge as a ladder, and every obstacle as a proving ground. The higher you climb, the louder the noise, but also the clearer your success becomes. When your purpose is clear and your vision unshakable, chaos becomes irrelevant. Life will always present disorder, unpredictability, and opposition, but clarity turns confusion into opportunity. Those who lack direction are consumed by chaos, allowing it to shape their actions and limit their potential. But the visionary acts like a lighthouse in the storm, guiding themselves steadily while others flounder. Every distraction becomes a lesson, every disruption a chance to innovate, and every unpredictable moment an opportunity to assert control over your destiny. Chaos loses its power when vision dominates, and that is the power you cultivate every day. Many wait for monumental moments to leave a mark, but true influence is built in the small, consistent actions that accumulate over time. Every choice you make, every habit you cultivate, and every commitment you honor is constructing the story you will leave behind. Legacy is not an abstract concept reserved for the elite. It is the natural outcome of intention, courage, and relentless consistency. Each moment presents a chance to define your narrative, to inspire, and to create impact. What seems ordinary today becomes extraordinary tomorrow, and those who recognize this live their lives with purpose and unstoppable momentum. Fear thrives in hesitation, grows in doubt, and multiplies in inaction. But when you act decisively, fear loses its power. Every step you take toward your goals, every decision made despite uncertainty, and every challenge confronted head-on diminishes fear's influence. Courage is cultivated not by waiting for comfort, but by stepping into discomfort again and again. The extraordinary understand that fear is a natural companion of growth, not a signal to retreat. Action transforms uncertainty into achievement, hesitation into progress, and doubt into proof of strength. In a world where most wait for permission, the ones who act decisively become the architects of change. Waiting for validation ensures you remain ordinary. Taking initiative ensures you become extraordinary. Those who shape the future do so by seeing opportunity, calculating risk, and moving with speed and precision. Reaction is for the followers. Vision and action are for the leaders. Every time you step forward when others hesitate, you claim influence, disrupt norms, and build momentum that cannot be ignored. The world may resist or misunderstand, but it always eventually follows those who dared to move first. Circumstances are never perfect, and waiting for them to align is a trap. True power emerges from the ability to make decisions in uncertainty, to act when the odds are stacked against you, and to create results where none seem possible. Every choice you make, big or small, shapes the trajectory of your life more than any external condition ever could. Those who embrace responsibility, take ownership of outcomes, and refuse to let fear dictate action become forces that circumstances themselves must bend around. Power is not given, It is seized through decisive action, clarity of purpose, and unwavering determination. The pressure of expectations, challenges, and adversity does not break those destined